Hello and welcome to Hasu Hour. I'm your host Zerg. The matchup today is Protoss versus Terran, with Light, the Terran, spawning in the bottom left, and Puck, the Protoss, spawning in the top right. The map is, I believe it's Runes of Saras, uh, and it's a four-person map with quite a bit of distance between the bases. Probably we'll see both players opening with a fast expand. That seems to be a pretty standard build order as far as top level games go, and we can see that Puck has already saved up almost enough for a Nexus, which he's going to throw down momentarily. The Terran player, for his part, went for a barracks and some gas, and it looks like he's sending out a scouting SCV, so potentially we could see some early aggression here, but my money's still on a fast expand build order, probably, immediately following a Reaper. You can see he's got almost 400 saved as well. So barracks finished, Reaper production has begun, and potentially this Reaper could do some damage because Puck is still working on his gateway here. He went for that really early fast expand, and that is going to leave him a little behind on tech and on military. But the question is, will the extra income compensate for that? And probably, considering the map and considering that both players spawned at the furthest distance possible that they could, that probably the early Nexus is going to pay some dividends. Interesting rally point here by Puck. He chooses to rally from his natural to his main, and surely he's a little concerned about early aggression, which is why he's doing this as sort of a precautionary measure so he can defend just one part of his base, his main, instead of spreading his forces between his main and his natural. So he's that's an interesting defensive posture that certainly I would never consider and I had never seen before. Uh, the Reaper now entering the Protoss base and trying to get some hits on the workers. He was avoiding engaging with the Zealot there, trying to get some probe kills, and did manage to throw down a grenade, but and he's one kill so far. Might be two here. No, the Reaper is going to have to run from the mothership core. Of course, the Reaper does not target air, so it is a little vulnerable. Although the mothership core does not have the most phenomenally powerful attack, 8 damage. Cyclone play now from Light, and perhaps he's going to. We got an adept Shadow chasing the Reaper very closely there, and but he is going to get high grounded here. The Adept is a very strong match versus the Reaper in single combat. And the Adept is a pretty strong unit. A lot of people have said it's imbalanced. I don't think so. Personally, I think that Legacy of the Void is very balanced, despite what people say. But Adepts can absolutely be very frustrating to deal with. They're an excellent harass unit, but not really that strong en masse, although they can at times play a part of a good composition because they are so Vespian light. Only they're 125-25, very cheap in terms of Vespian. So both players macroing up here. Light is keeping his Cyclone for drop defense. The lock-on ability, once it's upgraded, especially to the 400 damage, perfect for countering any sort of drop, take out the shuttle, Um, it's got really strong range so that they can't really retreat. And third base here for Puck. So he's trying to secure an eco advantage. He's got also saturation mining at his natural and his main, so it really makes sense to get that third base and rally future probe production there to get the maximum efficiency out of your workers. Macro is a big part of StarCraft. It's a big part of Legacy of the Void, especially now you're starting with 12 workers, so you're into the middle game just so much sooner, and early aggression is not really quite as effective as it used to be. In the days of Brood War, top Koreans would open pool all the time or bunker rush, and it was very much you could win games very early, but that does not seem to be the case anymore because of the structural change, the 12 initial workers. So a little Stalker army here. We're going to see some blink micro from Puck, and he doesn't want to get too close to the siege tanks. The siege tank, a very long-ranged unit, 13 range, phenomenal range, and damage with the arc light fire, splash damage as well. And an excellent attack here by Puck, blinking into the Terran main, lights Cyclone, getting a kill there, and not wanting to get too close. The Cyclone's an extremely vulnerable unit, can't take a lot of damage, but it can certainly give much better than it can take. So Puck retreating now, but that was a very nice attack, and it's going to leave Light's third base undefended, so maybe he'll want to capitalize on that. And that's sort of a nice engagement there too, taking advantage of the fact that the Stalkers do have shields, they can take some damage. But all in all, Light ably fending off this assault, and still a very even game here. Both players on 3 base, both players very even in the supply count. And the Stalkers are going to try to find some soft spots, but they are taking a little damage from the tanks, and he is going to have to retreat. So that attack really did not do too much there. He lost maybe 1 or 2 Stalkers, and Light is going to be safe for now. In warps 5 Zealots, sort of a little unusual composition. Maybe he's thinking he can drop these on the tanks or absorb some tank damage with the lots. The lots are a relatively inexpensive unit. And the Stalkers have engaged the Marines. 2 Marines go down, and another is injured. A clear, the Terran player forced to retreat his Bioball army here. And it looks like Puck might be thinking about making an attack here. The mass Protoss forces are going to engage the Terran defenses, and this is not going well for Puck. Although the SCVs are forced to get into the fight, and they're taking a little damage there from the tank. So perhaps that was actually in the end a good attack. Pretty nice shuttle micro here, medevac micro. From Light, moving the tank to the safety of the high ground. That was actually a very close attack there. Archon's morphing in the advanced Protoss army position, and Puck is grabbing his 4th base, staying 1 step ahead eco-wise the whole game. Light pressuring a little bit with his Bioball army, Marauders and Marines. But he's not going to want to engage the Protoss too much out of the safety of his siege tanks. Pretty nice micro there. Focus firing, getting some kills, and continuing to get this supply advantage. You know, if Light keeps winning these little battles, then he's going to have overwhelming force and be able to move out and just waffle crush his Protoss foe. Looking like a potential drop here from Light as he sets up his Liberators in defender mode to guard that somewhat exposed natural. But the drop has been spotted by the Protoss army. One medevac goes down, the other badly wounded, and it's destroyed. A phenomenal victory for Puck there. Those expensive medevacs and their cargo destroyed. That's got to be a devastating blow to Light. He must be really choked right now. He had a nice edge, and now the game is more than equalized. The Protoss player is winning with a fourth base and nice army composition here. Positioned very close in order to prevent any sort of a push. And now we're seeing some High Templar tech. And the High Templars lifted into the Warp Prism. He does not want to lose these extremely Vespian heavy units to the focus fire of the Bio Ball. And one storm going off there. The High Templar manages to survive, badly wounded. Just 6 hit points left. Incredible. But he did manage to escape, and he is saving up his energy for more storming action. The Templar is a direct counter to the Bio Ball. But with these Liberators in defender mode, it's going to be very difficult for Puck to push any further, especially with the bunker mine addition. Really strong defense here, and we are seeing some ghosts added to Light's forces, so probably he's going to be maybe EMP rounds or steady targeting, but who knows? We could just see some nuclear attacks later on in the game. So both players sort of jockeying for position, neither wanting to commit to an all-in-all out battle, neither wanting to take that chance. And a nice drop here by Light, taking out the Protoss 4th base. This is an absolutely incredible move, and this is going to be very difficult for Puck to recover from. His eco now suffering badly. Falling significantly behind the Terran player, and his Stalkers now taking on the Marines, taking on the Marauders, and getting by far the best of this exchange. But they're not going to be able to get the medevac shuttles, which are able to fly to safety there. So an excellent attack here by Light. And Puck trying now to get these two expos online to sort of balance out the loss of this vital expansion. What a phenomenal development. Puck trying to counter on Light's 4th base, but the Planetary Fortress combined with the Liberators in defender mode is not going to be an easy target to hit. This is just such a nice defense here that can be set up in a hurry. All he has to do is relocate his Liberators. So it's a perfect panic response to an attack. But Puck is getting these 2 bases online. Saturation Mine at his 4th. And another attack. These barracks is actually providing a pretty nice space block to protect the tanks and to slow down any sort of attack on the workers and the resources being mined. And another drop by Light. Oh, this is a perfect attack. Puck taking out the defenders, trying to just push through to Light's main. He realizes that his eco has been so badly damaged by the drops that he's got to do something right now. But he is actually crushing the Terran defenses here. His whole army now is approaching Light's main, and if he gets in, then this might just be the end of the Terran player. You can see he's He sent his forces back to try to desperately defend instead of attempting to get into a base trade situation. His natural has been breached, and his second natural, not entirely, but it is in a very precarious situation as both defenders go down, and this is not looking good for the Terran player. This massive Protoss ball here crushing the Terran forces. Finally, Light's drop attack army is ready to defend. And the mines getting some phenomenal hits there on the Stalkers. One group able to blink away, the other not quite so lucky. All the Terran forces brought into bear, and it looks like he might just defeat the Protoss army, but this battle is incredibly close, and so much damage has been done on both sides. The supply counts almost exactly equal. What a phenomenal attack there by Puck, but Light just barely able to save the day. And what is this? A 16-minute DC sneak into the Terran main. He's going to try to take out some SUVs here. He is going to be successful. And now he's going for the command center, which I guess you might as well at this point. This 1DT just swiping away. Meanwhile, Tempest attack. What an incredible tech switch. There is no way that Light saw this coming. I didn't even know that he had these Starforts. And it looks like he's setting up here to do a little ledging off this this area right here. Perfect little Zealot accompaniment. And is Light going to be able to hold his fourth base, this planetary fortress, the bulk of his mineral income, almost the totality of it, as there's very little minerals left at his second and third, but Puck is not wanting to risk his Tempests. Perhaps he's going to maybe defend this from this Liberator. He doesn't want to risk this massive air toss fleet. The Tempest has the longest range in the game, except perhaps the Cyclone lock-on ability once it's locked on. 15 range, not exactly capable in terms of single combat with really anything, but with the phenomenal range, you can really abuse ledges and cliffs, and it can be pretty difficult to deal with these units, especially when they've got a little bit of backup. I think he does have some Storm in here, and there it is, the Storm on the bio ball. Light frantically retreating his forces, not wanting to engage with the wounded Marines and Marauders. Needs to heal them first, and he's sort of running away, fearful of the Tempest army. And who can blame him? This is really a massive air fleet of Tempests, and you really got to give props to Puck for this mid-game switch. Phenomenally clever play, but Puck's income very limited right now, so he does have to use his army carefully and engage at an advantage, which he's been doing so far. The Storm, along with the Tempest, very nice, very difficult to handle, because the Marines really want to just get up close and start shooting at the Tempest, but by doing so, they are going to present a very attractive target for the Sky Storm. And in come the Marauders, trying to take out these Storms, the High Templar, and perhaps succeeding there. Apparently they paused for a second, as too many Doritos crumbs were interfering with Puck's mouse. He needs to get on that optical stuff. The Protoss army here, playing very cagey, not wanting to engage, looking to play these range games and really exploit his opponent's lack of range. The Zealot spread nicely preventing damage from splashing onto the rest of his compadres, throwing himself on the grenade, as it were. And very nice focus fire from these Tempests. Such imaginative play from Puck. You do not get to see the Tempest very often, and I am just so impressed. Meanwhile, a drop on the Protoss base here, the third base, and DT's actually handling it very nicely because Light, I guess, trying to micro over here, did not notice that his army was getting eaten up, and the DT's are successful in their defense. Very nice. Meanwhile, the Tempests hunting the Marine army, which is on the run. Light separated from his base. His army now, and the Protoss player sensing blood, but Light is looking to engage. A storm goes off, and a lot of Marines are wounded there. A really nice unit composition here. I mean, I am just amazed. And it looks like Light is going to be taking out this very important mineral income base. But storms going off, and Zealots doing a lot of damage to the Marines. That is just a devastating blow to Light. This game is over. Whether Light realizes it or not, that was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back. Puck is up 100 supply almost, and he's got better income. Yeah. And I mean, this little drop force here, that is over. What an incredible game! I mean, that was just absolutely phenomenal.